Do you know the difference between a visionary and a dreamer? A visionary is someone who can see the future and turn that vision into reality. On the flip side, a dreamer is someone who may have dreams or great ideas, but they can never see those ideas come into fruition. So, when it comes to you and your finances, are you a visionary or a dreamer? One of the things that separates visionaries and dreamers is that visionaries are able to set clear goals, whereas dreamers never set clear goals, they just have ideas. And so my encouragement for you is to be a visionary when it comes to your finances. And once you have that vision for where you want to go or what you want to have in the future, then it's important that you create SMART goals for yourself. No matter what you do in life, if you want to be successful, then you have to create SMART goals. SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Let's dive a little bit deeper into what that means. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your SMART goal is specific. Specific means that it's not a general goal. It means that you want to complete a desired task, that you're not all over the place, but you have one thing in mind that you want to accomplish. Then once you have that specific goal in mind, you need to make sure that your goal is measurable, meaning that there's a way for you to tangibly measure the success of whatever goal you have. For example, if you are event planning and your goal was to have 500 people in attendance, then that is measurable. If you only have 300 people in attendance, then that means that you missed your mark by 200 people. In the same way, when it comes to your budgeting and your finances, you should always set measurable goals. For example, if you want to save $10,000, then you should have a goal to save $1,000 a month for 10 months so that you can go and you can meet that specific goal that is measurable. After that, you want to make sure that your goal is attainable. For some people, they think that it's good to set goals that are off in another planet and just saying, oh, I want to have $10 million in the next 6 months, but they don't even have $10 coming in their pocket today. What you want to make sure is that your goals are attainable, that they are achievable, because the worst thing you can do is set goals that are way too high that you will not actually achieve them. Then when you don't achieve your goals, then you may be discouraged. It's okay if you set attainable goals and you shoot even beyond what your goal was. That's what you're wanting to do. So don't set your goals so high that they are out of reach and that they are unrealistic, but set your goal at something that you believe that you can get. For example, you wouldn't say, oh, I want to save $100,000 this year if you only make $60,000 a year. What instead you want to do is you say, hey, I make $60,000 a year. I can really sacrifice and live off $40,000 a year, and then I can save the other $20,000 a year. But whatever your goal is, you want to make sure that it is realistic. Then you want to also make sure that your goal is relevant to what it is that you want to achieve. Sometimes people set goals, but their goals are not relevant to their overall vision. For example, if you want to travel the world, then you may not have a goal of buying a home. Why? Because buying a home is not relevant or may not be relevant to you traveling the world, or vice versa. If you are looking to buy your first home or your dream home or remodel a home, then maybe you don't need to travel the world as much, because that is not relevant to your primary goal of building. And some people say, well, you can do both and that's true, you can. But if you want to be successful with money, one thing you have to do is you have to prioritize what is most important to you. Then you have to make sacrifices so that you can get that vision, so that you can achieve that vision, so that you can achieve those goals and ultimately get what you want to receive. Last, your goals need to be time bound, meaning that there has an end date. You can't just say, I want to make $10,000 or I want to save $10,000 one day. That may mean 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now. Whenever you have a goal, you have to set an end date, which is a target date for you to evaluate whether or not you are able to achieve the goal that you set out in the first place. So instead of saying, oh, I have a goal of saving $10,000 someday, you say, I want to save $10,000 within the next 12 months, which means I'm going to save over $800 a month and put that away so that I can have $10,000 at the end of the year. That's an example of a goal that is time bound. Next, let's look at a strategy for setting goals. The first thing you want to do is you want to start with the end in mind, meaning that you're looking at the long-term goals that you want to accomplish. You could start off by looking at, what do you want to accomplish within the next 5 years? What are your 5-year goals? Then after that, you can look at your 10-year goals. A 5-year goal may be, I want to buy a new home, or I want to start a new business in 5 years from now. Whatever it is, you should have that goal in mind. Then you should also have a goal for 10 years and even 30 years down the line. For some of us, that means we're looking at what life looks like in retirement. And for others of us, we're looking at what life may look like for our children or our grandchildren, and how we can pass down the resources that we have from one generation to the next. Whatever it is, you want to definitely start with your long-term goals, because this will determine your budget and how you spend your money. Once you have clear long-term goals, then you want to dive into your short-term goals. Now, short-term goals are goals that happen with less than 5 years. So that's within like 1 to 3 years. So you're looking at, what is it that you want to accomplish in the next 1 to 3 years? For myself, I know that I'm going to need a new car in the next 3 years. My car is older and it's time for another one. So I'm already preparing for that, and I'm already thinking about that, and I'm already saving for that, and already have a plan for that. So what is your goal within the next 1 to 3 years? Is it to visit that country you've always wanted to go back to, or that country that you want to go back to, or that country you want to go to for the first time? Or is your goal to buy that car? Is it to buy that home? Or is it to buy a certain amount of equipment? Or what is the goal that you have for yourself? So once you have your goals for the next 1 to 3 years, then you write them down. Then you set your budget accordingly so that you can make sure you achieve the goals that you have. After you have your long-term goals and your short-term goals, then you start looking at your immediate goals. Your immediate goals are goals that you plan to accomplish in less than a year. So we're talking about your goal for next week, your goal for next month, in the next 3 months, 6 months, or even a little bit under a year, 9 months. And you're looking at what you're going to do today to propel you or set you up for the future. More immediate goals may look something like, oh, I know I'm going to need a car repair very soon, or I know I'm going to need something repaired for my home really soon, or I need to start putting money away for an emergency fund, or I need to start saving for this vacation that I know I want to go on in 9 months, or we have this really fun social activity I want to do with my friends, so I'm going to start saving money towards that. So what you have to make sure is that you have your immediate goals, and that your immediate goals are setting you up so that you can go out and you can achieve your short-term goals, and that is setting you up so that you can achieve your long-term goals. The worst thing that someone can do is to not have any goals in place. When you don't have any goals in place, then that means you're just moved around by the wind. Whenever your friends say, oh, let's go on this trip, or let's go here, or let's go there, or let's go buy this, or let's go do that, then you're reacting and you're just going wherever the wind takes you, instead of being proactive about what you want to do with your money and your finances. So if you want to be successful with money, the first thing you have to do is you have to become a visionary and not be a dreamer, meaning that you set your goals, you set your long-term goals, you set your short-term goals, you set your immediate goals, and then after that you prepare a plan to help you to be able to achieve your goals. And if you want to know more information about that plan, then watch the videos on this channel, which is all about financial literacy, and I have videos specifically on budgeting just for you.